Let me tell you what's next. Next. What's up, Closer Gang? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about how you can get a house for virtually no money down. Stay tuned and we're going to run through it, and I'm going to teach you exactly how to buy a house for almost $0. An FHA insured loan is a U.S. Federal Housing Administration mortgage insurance backed mortgage loan that is provided by an FHA approved lender. FHA mortgage insurance protects lenders against losses. So in simple terms, it's a first-time home buyer loan. For a little bit more context, when you want to go out there and buy a house, usually you have to put around 20% down. Sometimes you even run into places where you can put 10% down. But guess what? With an FHA loan, according to Investopia.com, you can actually borrow up to 96.5%, which means you only have to put 3.5% down. Now, a lot of people think you have to have a perfect credit score in order to get your first-time home buyer's loan. But the opposite. You can get this loan and all you need is 580 credit score in order to qualify for it. If your credit score is below that and you're having a tough time building it up, go check out this video above. We did a video about how to build your credit score. And guys, if your credit score is anywhere from 500 to 578, you can still qualify for an FHA loan. And guess what? The only thing that changes on the loan, instead of 3.5% down, you put 10% down. And let me tell you what, 10% down, I'll take loans all day long. I'll be buying up all the properties in the world. Now let's get into the requirements. Requirement number 1, an FHA loan is only given to people that have social security numbers or is a temporary resident in the state. Let's get into the second requirement. An FHA loan borrower must have at least 3.5% down to put it as the down payment. Now, what does that mean? Let's say house A cost $100,000. Then that means you need around $3,500 in order to put down as the down payment. And yes, I said it correctly. Only $3,500. That's a Gucci bag. When you get an FHA loan, there's no crazy minimum or maximum income requirement. The only requirement is that you have to have the same 2-year work history in the same line of job or with the same employer. Which leads us to something that people a lot of times confuse: debt to income ratio. And yes, I said that, debt to income ratio. But guess what, guys? It's a lot more simpler than it sounds. In the end of the day, the bank just wants to know that you're not going to over leverage yourself, that you won't have more debt than you have money coming in. Because if you have more debt than money coming in, then you won't be able to pay the loan off. When it comes down to debt to income ratio, when you're buying a property, it needs to be at around 31% of that ratio, which means you have to take the mortgage payment, you have to take the taxes, you have to take your homeowner's insurance, and also in some places like co-ops and condos, you have homeowners association fees, which are HOAs, and that has to equal to around 31% of your income, which is calculated as debt. Now, is that the only type of debt you're gonna have? Is that the only type of debt that you're allowed to have, 31%? And if you exceed it, you can't get a loan? No. The answer to that is no. We're all human, and we have a lot more things. We have car payments, we have credit cards, we have so many things that we have to pay for and we have to live on. With saying that, that means that you can have up to a 43% debt to income ratio, which means as long as your car payments, your credit cards, and everything that you're using right now, your debt with the mortgage, with the taxes, with the association fees and so forth is under 43%, hey, you could qualify for this loan. I get it. You're saying in your head,
3.5% down, I'm gonna go ahead and buy myself a $10 million home.
Trust me, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was saying, hey, I'm gonna buy a $100 million home, put 3.5% down, and move forward from there and leverage it. But there's a very big but in this. There is a cap. There's a cap on how expensive the home can be. But there's another big but. But this one is in your favor. Did you know that you don't have to buy a single family property, which means a 1-family home or residence? With an FHA loan, you can qualify to buy a 1-family, a 2-family, 3-family, and even a 4-family, which means, hey, rental income. And guess what? That rental income goes against your bad debt. It considers more income to come in. And guess what? For each single home, you have a different cap. If it's a single family, you have a certain level of a price point that you can purchase. With a 2-family, you have a certain level of price point you can purchase. And all the way up to a 4-family, they give you a lot bigger loan because they know your income is going to grow along that. And on the other hand, a 4-family home, it's probably going to be a lot more valuable than a single family home. Also, this loan is based on location. So, for example, let's say you want to buy a $450,000 single family home in New York. Guess what? You could probably qualify for that. But if you're in a different location where single family homes are actually sold at a lot less price point, then you might not qualify to buy a $450,000 home. You have to talk with your local mortgage brokers, get yourself pre-approved, and see what the cap on their FHA loan purchase prices are. Now let's get into expenses, because is that all the expenses you're gonna have? The 3.5% down payment and your mortgage payment? No, there will be more expenses. In order to get this mortgage or loan, you're going to be required to get mortgage insurance. The premiums on a 30-year fixed mortgage insurance is anywhere from 1.75% upfront all the way up to 0.8% to 1.5% in the future. Now, you got pre-approved, you're ready to go, your mortgage broker gave you exactly how much you can buy, and you're looking out for properties. You found one, locate one, say, I want it, put in an offer, get it accepted. What's next? Let me tell you what's next. Paperwork. Not the funnest thing in the world to hear, but there's going to be paperwork required. Number 1, you're going to need your most recent pay stub showing year-to-end earnings. Number 2, you're going to need your most recent W-2 forms. Number 3, you're going to need 2 years of tax returns. And that goes along to what we said in the beginning. You're going to need to maintain a job in the same line or with the same employer for at least 2 years to show that you're dependable. Number 4, and what they always like to ask, and they're probably going to keep on asking until you close the loan, is most recent bank statements. Why? This is because they want to make sure that you don't get fired and that you didn't lose a job or you stopped having income coming in while you get closer to finalizing your loan. So don't be scared if your banker calls you and says, hey David, we know we locked you up on this loan. We're going to close in 30 days. Can you send us the most recent bank statement? It happens all the times, and just be prepared. Before you get into this, I just want to let you guys know, if you guys are out there about to get a loan, you never want to secure more debt before you get a loan. Number 1 thing that I tell everyone before getting a loan, don't quit your job, don't leave, be dependent, and definitely don't go out there and get a new Bugatti, because any more debt on your loan might change it up completely and you might get your mortgage pulled, which means no more home. So now, you got the pre-approval, you worked with a mortgage broker, you located the property, and you went into contract. What is the next step from there? The mortgage broker is going to require to send over an appraisal. What is an appraiser? An appraiser is a person that comes to the property, takes a look at it, and values it to make sure that you're not paying over market value for a property, that the bank is insured and secured on their asset. So they're not loaning you more than what the property's value is actually worth, because in the end of the day, if you don't pay, the bank is out for some money. That means the property can be distressed. You can have broken windows everywhere, ripped up sheetrock, broken floors. It has to be livable, which means, hey, the word livable is very moving. It doesn't have to be the most beautiful property, and you can go in there and do some work, because obviously less renovated properties are probably going to be a better find and a better buy as an asset than more renovated properties, because you're not going to be paying the premium, and you can do those renovations, save some costs, and maybe add some more value to your asset. But in the end of the day, you just have to make sure it's livable. Now, it's always important that you keep up with your credit score and actually know where you're at. So you want to raise your credit score at all times. Again, link above. It's not a big deal, because this loan doesn't require you to have the best credit score. It requires you to have an average or even a below average credit score, which is completely fine. Now, before we get into the rest of the video, and then to wrap this up, if you can, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, drop a like, hit me with a comment, let me know what else you want to hear, and also let me know if this was any help. The goal of this video is to show you guys exactly how you can buy a house for as low as 3.5% down. I wish I can constantly buy houses at 3.5%, because that means my money will go a longer way. For example, in my situation, I'm an investor. I love rental properties. So if all I had to put down is 3.5%, then I would just utilize my money to purchase more properties, to have more values, because in the end of the day, anything I'm purchasing, I know I'm going to make money on my properties. That is the goal of an investment property. But with this loan, it's a way for you to build up your future for success. It's an amazing way to find a home, purchase it, or even a multifamily resident, occupy one unit, rent out the rest, and leverage yourself. Make some money, but also pay off your mortgage and have zero in rental payment. What I would prefer doing is finding an amazing 4-family, renting out the 3 units above, and making sure that they cover their entire payments. Because that means I live rent free. And what's better than living rent free? Guys, go out there and start speaking to your mortgage brokers. It's so important that you guys leverage yourselves and really push yourselves out there. If you guys want to buy a house, this is the time to do it. Especially in my business, I'm a real estate broker and I run a lot of brokerages all over. And I have buyers always coming up to me and being like, David, I'm renting right now. Can I even buy it? And how do I go about it? The purpose of these videos is to teach you exactly how you can buy it. And that, hey, shockingly enough, it's not as crazy as you think. And you don't have to have as much savings as you think in order to buy a house, or the best credit score, or the best income. Go out there, speak to your mortgage brokers, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button, tell your mortgage broker to subscribe to the channel as well, and let's get rolling. Love you. Peace. Peace.
That's on it. Perfect.
Home Alone. Home Alone. You know,